Hey there, Danielle Matthews here. I am coming to you live from Florida. Apologies for the delay in getting going this morning. I had a little bit of technical trouble, but we are here. And we are starting with chapter 8 this week. So we're in the midst, I don't know if we're halfway through even yet, but we're reading Wisdom Untethered. All right, so that's the book. It does not matter if you've joined a book club in the past. This book is literally wisdom for your life. Every single chapter stands alone. Every conversation we have here on book club can literally be something that you listen to again and again and again because it's the wisdom that is going to help you free yourself. And the concept that is being talked about this week is surrender. Okay, so if you're joining me live, let me know when you get here. Again, apologies for you taking a minute to find me because I couldn't get live right away. And if you're watching the replay, let me know that you're on the replay. It's always fun to see who's joining into these book clubs. So let's kick off with this concept of surrender. I think most people hear the word surrender and they think, oh, I'm giving up. And that is not it. And this is the nuance. And this is what we're going to talk about and talk through. Hey Lou, good to see you. It is up on Facebook now. Sorry, it was just delayed getting everything going, but we're all here. So, all right. Surrender, guys, he writes, isn't about giving up. It's about getting out of the way. This is what surrendering is about. It's about getting out of the way of what is here. He says, you've spent your whole life, and just feel this, okay? Just please, hey Pooja, good to see you. Just feel into if this feels true for you or not, okay? Have you spent your whole life trying to control how things unfold? Trying to fix the outside world so you can finally feel okay inside? How many of you, there's like a core, like a kernel of truth in that statement that, yeah, we do our best to go out there into the world and try to control how things unfold, right? How things go at our work, how people perceive us, all of the things that we try to manage. And we have these expectations. And we try to fix the outside world also so that we feel okay in here, right? That's what we do. It is what we do. And I think there's a kernel of that. Put a 1 in the chat if you recognize that in yourself. And this is what he's talking about. He's saying, hey, have you noticed how you spent a lifetime doing this and yet still have you been able to control the external world, right? Probably not. He says, if the freedom you seek doesn't come from changing life, but what if it comes from letting go of the part of you that's always fighting with it? Okay, nice. I see some honesty coming through. Some ones coming into the chat. Yeah. He says, true surrender means letting go of the personal self that resists, that reacts, and that tries to run the show. So notice that part of yourself that's like, no, I know better. I know how to do this, right? It tries to run the show and it resists things that it doesn't like. Well, the plane shouldn't be late. This person should have arrived on time. Why didn't they call me? Why didn't they answer my email, right? All of these things. He says it means trusting that life knows what it's doing and that you'll be okay no matter what happens. That's the level of trust. That is what you are surrendering to. Trusting that there is something greater going on that is going to bring you everything you need. Okay, that's honestly why I named my dog Bodhi. Bodhi is like, it means like awakening, enlightenment, and it is my reminder to me that things will come onto your path because of things outside of what you could ever imagine your own mind could ever orchestrate, and they will come to you when they're meant for you. And my dog, I wanted a dog very badly, and I just felt like it was not the time and place for me to have a dog. I was living with a roommate, I was working, I was doing part-time jobs, I was growing my ASEA business, I was gone all the time. And so I just surrendered. I had this little stuffed animal dog that I kept. It was like, do you guys remember Thai Beanie Babies? It was a Thai Beanie Baby. I had it in my car because I was like manifesting, right? Like I'm gonna manifest a dog, I'm gonna get a dog. And then one day I just surrendered and I said, no, I'm trying to force this thing like way too hard with how I think it should go and all this stuff. And I put the dog literally on a shelf. Like I was like, okay, we're taking it out. I'm not gonna look at it every day. I'm done. Must have been a few weeks later. I'm out biking with Eddie, right, my partner now. First time I hung out with him, and come around the corner, and what's he doing? But he's coaxing this little dog out of the woods that was just hiding. It was all skin and bones. Would have died if we'd left him out there. That's Bodhi. So this dog literally found its way to me, and that was through complete surrender on my end. It's just amazing. When we allow life to flow, what will flow? When you are in surrender. And you can't understand how it's going to happen. That's the point of surrender. All right. Back to this. He says, in this chapter, hey Tina, hey Charlotte, glad you guys found it. Where are we? In this chapter, we'll explore your questions about what it really means to surrender, not in theory, but in the raw, honest moments of life. So you can finally begin to live from a place of peace, clarity, and flow. Okay, so let's dive into it. It's such an important concept. Question number 1, this whole book, if you're new to this whole book is written in question and answer format, and no better way than to ask the question and discuss the answer. So the question, first question in chapter 8, are acceptance and surrender the same thing? We talked last time a ton about acceptance, just accepting what's here. If you resist it, it's like hitting your head against the wall of reality, like accept what's here. He says, your question is very deep. The simplest answer would be yes, acceptance and surrender are the same thing, but there really is an important difference. If an event happens and you feel resistance to it, you can simply tell yourself to accept it because it's out of your control. You can tell yourself this. That's acceptance. If it is a major event, like your partner leaving you, for example, you will go through a lot of pain in your heart, but ultimately you will have to accept that the relationship is over. Surrender goes much deeper. I think we all, like everyone's been in a relationship that's ended, right? Or had someone they loved and they're not here anymore, or a job that they loved and they don't, or health that they had and now they don't, right? There's things that we've been forced to accept even though we didn't like them. He says surrender goes much deeper. So let's understand this point. Surrender means not only accepting the pain of the situation, but also releasing the root cause of your resistance, the underlying samskara, that core thing that is getting triggered and even more upset, right, by the situation. It's not just this partner leaving you. It's not just this current thing, right, that you can't control. It's all the things from the past. They're also getting pushed up in this moment. Surrendering means I'm not just accepting and seeing this situation for what it is. I'm surrendering to all of the times and all of the things that are getting revealed through this current process. He says, if you are to surrender to the experience of your partner leaving you, you are not just letting go of the relationship, as if you have a choice anyway. You are also surrendering the part of you that wants to resist. Acceptance says, I want to resist, but I will not express that outwardly. I will accept the reality of the situation. Surrender says, I want to let go of any part of me that wants to resist. Any part of me. My life is about letting go of what I am watching inside of myself and not just letting go of what is happening outside. So it's the internal reaction of all the stuff that's getting kicked up. It's not just going, yeah, but we need to accept reality, right? The relationship is over. It's going, I need to surrender to all this stuff that's getting kicked up too. I need to go within. I need to surrender to all of this. That's what it's really getting at. He says, in the end, acceptance can be a strictly mental rationalization process, right? Okay, the partner left, okay, whatever. And then you can compartmentalize that internal response. Oh, we need to move on. Oh, they passed away. Like, pull up your bootstraps. Let's go. That can be acceptance. Surrender is different. Surrender is the indwelling witness being willing to let go of what is pulling up all this inner turmoil. It is the self relaxing and releasing, like the big self, relaxing and releasing through all that is happening inside. Acceptance makes life more tolerable. Surrender makes life a spiritual experience. Okay? And this, he says, I hope this helps you to let go at the deepest of levels. It is a spiritual experience when you use life as a playground to continue to give you the lessons, the learning that you need to continue to let go. So questions with this concept, because it's powerful. Like, accepting is not just a mental, oh yeah, okay, fine. I accept it. I don't like it, but I accept it. Surrender is like, this thing is here, this part of me that is getting so upset by it all, I'm just going to sit and allow all of it to flow. That's what he's getting at. And he says that is where the true stuff really lies. Okay? Any questions? Surrendering all similar issues. Yeah, exactly. All the similar stuff that's getting kicked up. You know, we talk about that tube example all the time, and it's like the core stuff that's in there, like residues just kind of layer in on top of it. Like all of this stuff from our past that we didn't like, how things that were out of our control, like all of these things that occurred, they just keep kind of layering day by day. That's what has happened up to this point in your life. And he says acceptance is not just going like, okay, here's just another thing that I just have to deal with. It's saying, wow, like I'm going to let go not just of this moment, but all these layers of things in here, of all the other stuff. And how do I do it? I just sit with the discomfort momentarily while it moves through. That's how you do it. Okay? All right, question 2. How can I practice surrender when I'm faced with personal struggles and negativity? So how many of you have a personal struggle where there's negative stuff going on? How do you surrender to that stuff? It's good nuance. This is like, I love these questions. They're like the rubber hitting the road questions. He says, when you talk about surrender, understand that you're not surrendering to some external force or giving up on life. You're not quitting, okay? You're surrendering the part of you that is struggling. You're not giving up. You're not saying life doesn't matter, I'm not going to go on, whatever, it can all end now. No, you're just not going to struggle with the reality that's here, right? Your health is gone. It's like, okay, it's like after my car accident, after a year, I was like, it is hell to live inside of my head. Like these physical symptoms are awful and my mental emotional state is terrible. And I don't want to live inside of this mental emotional state anymore. So I just surrendered to what was going on. It wasn't like I approved of it, condoned it, felt it should have happened. None of that. It was just like, well, this is what's here. So I better find some happiness internally or life's going to be even harder. That's what we're talking about. Let go of the struggle internally with what is going on. Okay. He says, you're surrendering the part of you that's struggling, the part of your mind that is constantly trying to control everything to be the way it wants. The mind is always disturbed about one thing or another. It holds on to past painful experiences and reacts to life based on those impressions. If it truly knew what to do to end its suffering, it would just do it. But the mind doesn't know what to do. Okay? The mind has no idea what to do. Real surrender means letting go of the part of you and allowing something greater to guide you. There is something greater. I've touched it. Many of you have touched it. There is something greater that will guide you when you finally let go. But you can't access it from that thing that refuses to let go and that is struggling. You just can't. You have to let go of that part of you and you touch this presence that is there. And that will guide you. And it's so peaceful. You're like, why did I ever think I could do any better than this stuff? Right? He says, look at the deepest spiritual beings throughout time. The ones who have merged completely into the flow of life and found the deepest peace. They didn't get there by controlling everything. They got there by releasing themselves into something much bigger than their personal mind. They let go. They allowed life to unfold as it naturally does, and in doing so, they merged with the great oneness that is always there. That's the thing that you don't realize you're allowed to access, that is there for you to access. You don't have to fight with life. You don't have to resist what's happening. You simply need to step back, watch your mind trying to grasp for control, and say to it, it's okay. You don't have to do this anymore. It's okay. You don't have to do this anymore. That is the letting go. That is the serenity. It's saying to the mind, thank you. Thank you for your service up to this point, but now you can rest. You're off duty. Take a break. I'll take it from here. There's another watchman coming, right? That's what we're talking about. Let go of the struggle. That's what true surrender is. It's the willingness to let go of the struggle to make everything be the way you think it should be, and instead trust life. Not in a passive way, not in a way where you do nothing, but in a way where you stop interfering with the natural flow of life. The more you let go, the more you'll feel a deep sense of peace arising within you. At some point, you will realize this peace has always been there. It was just buried under all the resistance. Facts. Like, put a put 2 in the chat if you've accessed this piece. You have at some point touched this thing that we're talking about. This is what happened when I did Yoga Nidra for the first time. And I did this guided meditation. It was taken to this place that like my mind was quiet for the very first time ever. Like my mind has always been going. I just thought, well, it's a constant companion that you just have with you all the time. That's me. Now, you can get to a place that's quiet. You can get to a place where you can feel this presence. You can literally be guided into it. And yeah, okay, I'm seeing some 2s in the chat. Nice. You've accessed it. Isn't it nicer to live from that space than the one that you're in? Right? Our mind pulls us into this chaotic place. It is so much easier to live from the place of the deep, silent presence. Once you've touched it, you'll know what I mean. Yeah, like, and why would you want anything else? I'm going to choose more stilling. I'm going to choose that direction. That's what I want. He says, when you're faced with personal struggles and negativity arises, don't suppress it and don't fight it. Just step back, watch it, and let it pass through. You are not your thoughts. You're not. You are not your emotions. Surprise. You are the one who is aware of them. Again, you are the one who is aware of them. You were the one there before they came. You're the one there during them experiencing them. You're the one there after. You are that one. The deeper you go into that awareness, the more you will understand what it truly means to surrender. Because when you're in that space, you're actually okay with whatever's coming and whatever's going. Nothing changes. You've changed. That's why they say when you change, the whole world changes with you. Why? Because you've changed the perceiver. The things don't change. The perceiver has changed. You're accessing a deeper space. All right. Question 3. We got time. All right. Question 3. If someone at work bullies me, does surrender mean I just let it happen? Is speaking up for myself or avoiding them outside of work a form of suppression? I'm sure this is a question we've all had. Like, what if I'm in a situation where I'm being physically abused or where someone is literally mean to me? Like, am I supposed to just surrender to that? Valid question. He says, the teachings of surrender are not about letting yourself become a doormat. Let's be very clear. You're not just, oh yeah, just whatever happens, happens. No, you're missing it. He says, it's not meant to become a doormat for the inappropriate behavior of other people. Surrender is about letting go of your reactive response and then dealing with things from a place of clarity and logic. It's like, okay, once I realize my surrender is to my personal response of being upset, emotionally triggered, whatever. When I can get my ego's response out of the way, now I'm neutral and I can address what needs addressing. I can say, don't you ever touch me again. Don't you ever speak to me like that again, And I can very clearly, not from my ego, but just with clarity and precision, say what needs saying, do what needs doing, right? You act. You accept, surrender emotionally, internally, and then you act. If you get a sickness, you don't just say, oh, woe is me, it's just how it's supposed to be. You surrender to the part of you that is resisting the reality of the sickness, and then you say, okay, from a neutral place, how can I now go out there and look for the potential modalities that could help me? And let me just surrender to them. Let me just say, okay, you know better than me, I'll follow what you say. And let me just see the full thing out, right? Let go of the control. He says it's all about your intent. If you are letting go sincerely and circumstances are such that you need to assert yourself with your coworker, first, let go of your reactive energies, then interact from a place of clarity. This is not suppression, right? Say what needs saying once your own reaction has gone. Like, I just ran into something like this weekend. We all do, where something happens that you're like, what the heck? And you have this emotional internal response to it. And you might be like, I need to go tell that person off. Like, they shouldn't have done that. Stop before you do anything. Clear the internal thing. Why are you upset? What responsibility do you have in here? What's going on internally? Then actually see if anything needs to be said or if you just need to be clearer next time, right? Sometimes the onus is on you. The person did what they did because you weren't clear. Right? There's some responsibility on your end too. All right. He says, choosing not to interact with a coworker outside of your work assignment is not suppression either. But if you are avoiding someone because you can't handle how they make you feel inside, then work on yourself to let go so that you aren't avoiding out of reaction. Does this make sense? This is where people get so confused about boundaries. You need boundaries to protect your mental health. You need boundaries to protect yourself. No, what he's saying is, like, it's not a boundary if you're just saying, well, I genuinely, like, my interactions with this person lead nowhere. They're not bringing anything to me. Like, I'm just very from a neutral place, like, not going to choose to hang out with them. That's one thing. It's another thing to say, this person triggers me so much. They make me so uncomfortable. They're so mean to me. The way that they operate, I just can't be with. And so I am choosing not to make any space. I'm going to have up the boundaries because it is just too much for me. And so they'll be over there. I'll be over here. Well, now you're avoiding. Now you have internal about this person that comes inside of you when they come up. No, you don't want that. You need to work through that. Okay, that's you. The person's not even around and you're like nervous about them, what it's going to be like when they're around. That's you. You need to work through that. You have to surrender all that stuff in there. And then you can make the choice. Do I want this person in my life or not? Like, I have to deal with them at work. Okay, is that enough? Great. If we end up all going to dinner afterwards, am I going to be upset that I'm in this situation, or can I neutrally handle it because I've dealt with my internal stuff? Right? This is why it's like you don't make boundaries to not be triggered. You need to be triggered because you need to see what's inside of you that needs healing. If you're not triggered, you will never be able to heal. Does that make sense? So you cannot surrender if you don't know what you're surrendering. All right. I hope that's clear. He says, if you're choosing to avoid them, let it be out of sincerely seeking the best overall solution to the situation. This is not setting personal boundaries, which is just protecting your ego. There you go. Perfectly said. It is consciously working to bring the highest peace possible for both parties. You are looking to bring peace with you and them. We want win-win, right? Hurting another is hurting yourself. This is what you don't realize. You're all waves on the same ocean. If you hurt someone else, you're hurting you. You are part of the collective. Energetically, we are all connected. We all come from one. Okay? So, like, we don't need to hurt another to make ourselves okay. No, we need to get ourselves okay, and then we need to make sure the other is okay. That's what we're doing. Yeah, exactly. Lou says, don't give them power over you. No one has power over you. You need to take your power back. Taking your power back is owning the reactions that are inside of yourself and learning to see them and then surrender to him. That's what he's talking about. It's seeing them and going, oh, this is where I need to let go. These expectations, this worry, this thinking that I'm the only one. I need to make it all happen. It always depends on me. That stuff we need to let go of. That's what he's getting at. All right. I don't think we have time for another question, so we'll table it for next week. All right. So we will dive back into surrender next week. Chapter 8, question number 4 is where we will pick up. I appreciate you guys. Lots to chew on this week. Okay. So again, we're reading Michael Singer's Wisdom Untethered. It's a fantastic book. And all of this is on Enlightened Minds Book Club on YouTube. There is a playlist for this book club and all the book clubs that we have done. So check it out. Share this with somebody. Invite them to read the book. It's fantastic. And I will see you guys next week. Will I? No, next week I think I'm off. I'm teaching a retreat. So we will not have book club next week. Okay? So we will be together in 2 weeks. All right? Lots of love. Bye, guys.